So the only place you can derive an understanding of morality is from your own selfish feelings. What do you feel like doing? And that's all that matters to you. It just matters how good the pork tastes. It doesn't matter if there's some sentient organism that'll pay a price for it. That's irrelevant to your satisfaction, because that's as far as you can think. You can't think in terms of anything else's welfare having any meaning. There's no such thing as a thing's welfare. There is your welfare, period. So of course you want a world where you can all be alpha assholes, because that's what you want to be. You don't want to be restrained. You don't want us telling you that you can't be an asshole, because you want to wallow in your assholedness. Because, and you've conceded the point. I mean, you've acknowledged that you're psychologically, a sadomasochist, that you derive pleasure from pain, that you don't have what could be classified as common or regular or normal disposition. But even outside of that, you do know what pain is. You're afraid of needles, so you are afraid of something. So you understand the concept of fear and discomfort. And so what if you were imposing that on a pig? What if the sensations the pig was feeling were identical to your sensations of fear and anxiety about having a needle injected into you or a chemical injected into you? Would your empathy then would you be able to understand then? Does somebody have to make it that clear to you? That the little pig, do I have to call it TJ? If I call the pig TJ and I give him a psychology where he's afraid of needles, then can you empathize? Can you understand that you're causing its suffering, and that its suffering is just as meaningful as your suffering, that the suffering itself doesn't matter what vessel it's possessed by, it just matters that it exists, and that a rational, logical, sensible human being defines ethics and right and wrong based on an equation that values that suffering, that appreciates the meaning of it, the substance of it, the weight of it, the factual weight of it. But no, you have some asshole theory that if I built a universe and I had a planet Earth in it, that it was just a constant holocaust where people were just starving to death and dying of miserable, horrible diseases all day, and that's the only kind of life they lived. And then another planet where everybody just hung out at Dollywood and, ate cotton candy and laughed all day, that somehow those two planets would be the same thing. You couldn't tell the difference between them. You couldn't make an ethical statement and say it is preferable and right to lean towards the creation of that planet and not that planet. I mean, that's what you're arguing. Sometimes somehow we have to go ask a bacteria which world is better, because the only thing that's going to matter is which one has more people in it, which one produces more population. Is that the standard? Which one consumed and produced prodigy the most efficiently? I mean, bullshit. That's not where intelligence leads anybody. That's not logical. It's not rational, based on the knowledge base that we've acquired. We've acquired an understanding. So now we're capable of understanding that when we hurt something else, we're not going to win. If we're going to extract our pleasure from something else's suffering, then we're not going to win the equation. And it's a zero sum, or it's a negative sum. But it will not be a positive sum. And that's the origin of what might be called objective morality, rational ethics, logical ethics. I mean, we can give it all kinds of names, but it doesn't matter. The point is we know the difference between some dumb 2,000-year-old superstition and logical philosophy, a logical definition of ethics in the 21st century. There's a huge difference between these two things, superstition and rational contemplation on the subject of value in the 21st century. I mean, they're just two radically different things. And it's just silly for you to sit there and talk like it's all the same. It's not all the same. And there's no practicality in doing the opposite of the Mr. Spock logic. All right, you cannot to save the one at the expense of the many. That is just plain fucktarded. It's got to be about maximizing the equation, getting the most comfort and satisfaction for the least suffering. That's got to be the logical equation. Argue something else. Argue that reality, but don't argue bacterium. Are you okay? That's a bad model for comparison, because I'm certain something with intelligence can do better than a bacterium. But it does validate my old argument that there's a whole group of human beings that are striving to be nothing more than bacteria with brains, nothing more than a bacterium with a scheming, maniacal capacity to apply brains like a sledgehammer, to allow the feelings to have complete control over the power of knowledge, rather than the other way around. To be knowledge that disciplines our feelings. Our feelings should not be manipulating our knowledge. Anyway, enough of the video. Enjoying the sun. So sorry, sweating and such. But, taking advantage. It's just really great weather. It's 100 degrees today. My kind of weather. So I am a little reptilian, I'm afraid. Because, I do like it. So anyway, till the next time. And such.